Hello everybody and welcome back to Art Smart. Today I'd like to go over this, Tom and Jerry, the Spotlight Collection. This is volume 1. I will say right off the bat this is the only one of the 3-volume series, which started I think in 2004 and it carried through 2007. But anyway, this is the only one that I personally have. However, I do have some information about the rest of the DVD so we can talk about the series on a whole. Let me just show you what it looks like here. This is the front. And here's the back. This is a 2 DVD set, and there are 40 cartoons. And it, from what I've read, that's pretty much about what you're going to get on all the different sets. Somewhere about there. Here is inside. You know, simple drawings taken from the films, but looks like they've cleaned them up just a little bit. There's the DVDs themselves. And here is the listing of the different features and cartoons, and they have this quick little blurb here. If you do a screenshot you can kind of read that if you want. But anyway, here is the DVD set. Now the cartoons on here are not chronological. They've just been kind of thrown on as a grab bag. I think there's a pretty decent collection of shorts here. You do get to see Puss Gets the Boot. That's of course on here. Heavenly Puss is on here, which is a kind of noteworthy cartoon. And I also think it's great that they added on here some really good special features. They have How Bill Met Joe, which is about Hanna-Barbera and getting to know them a little bit. And then an even better documentary that they have on here is Behind the Tunes, which is the MGM Orchestra and Scott Bradley. Very good little documentary. A lot of people don't realize that these cartoons have kind of a manic energy, and they're really, really driven by the music. And so music is kind of an element that a lot of people tend to kind of forget when it comes to MGM, and people tend to look at people like Carl Stallings at Warner Brothers and give him a lot of praise, but Bradley doesn't really get nearly as much attention, and he deserves a little bit more. So it's a good little documentary, and I think you'll enjoy it. Now, you also have 3 commentaries on here. The commentaries are perfectly fine, and it's enlightening. I do wish that they had a little bit more. I think 3 is kind of lazy, but at the same time, it's good to have it. And you also have a couple of clips from movies where Tom and Jerry got to star in. In this particular volume, you get the dance sequence from Acres Away, which is pretty fun. Anyone who watches Family Guy has seen Family Guy's version of that same scene. And Dangerous When Wet swimming sequence with Esther Williams, which is a little bit less famous, but still kind of cool to see. So there are a decent amount of special features on here, even if they're not necessarily as many as I'd like to see. As for just what they have here in general, I think they did a decent job of giving you a mixture of some special features and 40 cartoons, and these seem to be averaging somewhere between like $10 and $20 used, and new about $20 to $25 at this time. And that's really not bad for what you're paying for. So it's a little cheaper than some of the other series that you're seeing from, Warner Brothers and Disney. Now, some major controversy has come online, though, from this release and the other cartoons that were released, because they have edited and censored a lot of the blackface gags. And they've also done some audio editing to try to take out those vocals. And a lot of people were upset that the originals were changed. I can understand where MGM was coming from, because people do get upset about this in this day and age, especially with Tom and Jerry becoming a global phenomenon. And a lot of people have been taking, like the Walt Disney Treasures, and taking and copying those shorts and then sharing them, and not putting out the blurb of, hey, this has kind of racist things going on here, so keep that in mind. People are just sharing it and taking it kind of out of the context of what Walt Disney and Warner Brothers were trying to do by having those little blurbs saying, please respect the fact that these cartoons were made in the 40s. We realize that these things were wrong, but we're showing it here and intact so that you can have a full conversation with your family. People are kind of ignoring that, and they're just releasing these cartoons on places like YouTube to see freely, and people get the wrong idea. So I can understand why they're making those edits, but it's also a little disappointing to see them changing history too. So I can see both sides of the coin. Hopefully this review makes you a little bit more art smart. I think it's worth $20 to $25, but that's kind of about it. I don't know if it's really worth spending any more than that, because these are decent cartoons and there's a decent amount of special features, but nothing that's really extraordinarily great. If it's more than that, I would just skip it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.